Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Marketing Podcast, your source for all things marketing. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at @AdamTorres to keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today is a very special reunion 2020 episode. What is that? That's when I had a guest on in the past, and I liked them so much I had to bring him right on back. So today's special return guest is Andrew Helms, and he's a wizard over at Feralflix. Andrew, welcome back to the show.
Happy to be back. I liked you enough to come back for round 2 as well.
All right, now, you know I can't leave this one on the table. I can't leave it. You dropped it, and I have to take it. So now you're a wizard. You're having some evolution going on. Before, I think it was Chief Wizard. I mean, let's talk about this evolution. I'm excited.
Oh, man, it's a doozy of a story, actually. But to simplify it for the short time that we have, I'd say, I've really let go of some ego-related elements in my business where I don't need to be the Chief Wizard. In fact, I do better. I have more success when I work with other people, when I collaborate, whether I'm creating content for businesses or whether I'm creating personal content to go out and do something in the world. The more people I include in that picture of what I'm doing, the better results I'm going to get. So, it was really an evolution from saying, hey, this isn't, the Andrew Helms show. Now it's everybody that I'm connected to show as well.
Man, I love that, and it's such a great evolution, and I struggled with that at the beginning just because I didn't know it's that thing. And by the way, whether it's your type of business or any type of business out there, it's that whole, the owner can do it best thing, and it's even trickier in the creative field, but in every field, I feel like at some point somebody suffers from it. So man, congrats. I love to see the evolution, and I know that it just will mean more great things for Feralflix, which I think that's also, by the way, a great transition because I don't want to jump right in and assume that all of our new listeners caught the first episode. So tell us a little bit more about what you're doing over at Feralflix, please.
Yeah, and I mean, if you caught the first episode, actually it'd be completely different today what Feralflix is doing. So for about the last 2.5, 3 years, it's really been focused on creating corporate content for businesses of all sorts of sizes, business bringing all sorts of revenue from startup to well-established companies. It was, the opposite basically of the riches are in the niches. It was kind of, well, let's just go out and do everything and see what we naturally gravitate to and who naturally gravitates towards us. As I went through this transition from Chief Wizard to a Wizard, I actually took a step back on the business and said, the thing that I've always really wanted to do has been filmmaking. And I channeled that into Feralflix, into this business model that I thought would be successful and would allow me to make film too. And throughout the process of wanting to really collaborate with other people, wanting to bring people together who maybe are naturally divided, even more so when you think about the current climate in the world and how closed off every single family seems like they are right now, actually, not even being able to go out and hang out with friends and things like that. I thought it was direly critical that somebody was going out into the world and helping people to unite, especially when there are deep divides between them. And so my business has completely flipped to being more focused on narrative work, so feature-length films, short films. I still do social media content, but my content is more focused on those social cause elements. So it's almost like a 180, but in some regards, all of the things that I was doing in the corporate world were helping me learn not only how to build an audience around something and how to, perfect my craft even further, but all of the marketing and the business elements. And, if you're putting together a pitch for a feature-length film or a short film and you need funding for it, you then have to go out and sell that in some regards. It's much different than what you were selling before, but it is still, in fact, selling. So, yeah, it's been a wild journey, and this stuff is all, relatively new within the last 4 months or so. And it's a much longer window as well. So before somebody could reach out to me and say, hey, here's my business, here's what I'm trying to do, I could go in, diagnose, provide solutions, and we'd go out and shoot and edit, and we'd be done in, 3-4 weeks. With films, it's like a 2-3 year process. So it's just a completely different world. But it's almost like, before you get to these levels where you have to do things on a much grander scale, where you're looking at years, it is so nice to be able to give yourself opportunities to go through the little baby steps that you're doing, wherever you're doing them, even if that's not, the end goal for you. So I think that's been a real key learning, whereas, if I continued today with the same corporate work that I was doing before, it would be a distraction. It would keep me from doing the thing that I need to be doing. But I actually needed all of that, what wasn't a distraction before, to get me to where I am today so that I can take on these projects.
Man, it makes perfect sense. And I think that, I love it, because now you actually have that other side of the brain, so to speak, that business side that you had to create and had to develop and had to get better at to service your corporate clients. And now you can bring that same professionalism into your own type of studio system. I mean, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah. I feel like that's how life works a lot of the time, is you don't quite realize what you're doing as you're going through it, but then you get to a certain point and you can look back and you're like mind blown, because now you see how all the dots connect to get you to where you are today.
Oh, for sure. I love it, man. Great to hear. Any kind of projects you're working on right now, or got kind of teed up, or that you want to talk about?
I'm working on a couple different projects. So first project is I'm working with a couple writers out of New York, and this is a feature-length film, and we're in the script writing stage. Actually, the script's been written 3 times. We're on the 4th rewrite of the script, is where I came into the project. But it's a story focused on 2 people who are going on what's known as a bud run from the Canada border, smuggling drugs over for various reasons, and they're being chased by like a sheriff and a deputy. And the whole story, while, this is the drama element, these are the things that are going on very visually. What's going on internally is these people are separating from each other and connecting to each other in unique ways. So it's really highlighting how people divide from each other and how people connect with each other, even when they have deep divides between them.
Oh, man, that stuff's going to be good. I like that you're making films now, by the way. That's pretty exciting for me. I'm like, man, I can't wait to hear about these things. I know it does take more time, as you just said. You're on the 4th rewrite or whatever. You came in on the 3rd, whatever, 4th. But it's just fun. It's just good to hear you, and you sound like lively and ready to take this thing on. So that's really exciting to me. So Andrew, that being said, if somebody is listening to this and they want to start keeping up and following with the projects and everything else you have going on, I mean, what's the best way for them to connect?
For sure on LinkedIn. I'm also on Facebook. Sometimes I dabble on TikTok these days, but that's just more for my own personal pleasure. But yeah, you can just search out for me anywhere online, really, and be able to find me. And then I'm always
I need you to do more than dabble on TikTok, because you're a real creator. So I need you to take that serious, only for my personal pleasure. I'm over here podcasting for you, man. You better put your skills to use on TikTok.
Well, I think I got shadow banned on TikTok, because when I very first came on the platform, like legitimately shadow banned, because when I came onto the platform the first time, I was just kind of watching different videos, trying to figure out what people liked to watch on there. And so I picked up on one where it was like this guy had a box, and in order for him to open the box and find out what was in it, this post had to get to so many views or whatever. So I did that, except I had a large butcher knife in my video. And my videos were doing fine up until that point. I mean, not crazy good, but they were getting 2,000, 2,500 views. And then a week after I did that knife video, my post wouldn't get any views for 2 weeks.
Wow.
And then 2 people would I'd get 2 views on a post. I'm like, I'm pretty sure they just stopped us from being shown to anybody because I think I'm doing something weird with that knife. So I've got to delete my old post, or I got to delete my old account, my new account. So yeah,
you need to get on that. You're gonna have to get on that. Getting shadow banned on the account already. Come on, Andrew. Delete it. Get it together. Get a new one up. Because when this movie comes out, TikTok's gonna be important to getting some attention towards it. So I need you to build that audience now. So when that movie's ready, you have that audience built already. But I digress. As I try to give you tasks to do just because I like your content. That's funny. So Andrew, it's been great having you back on, man. Seriously, and congrats on all the success. And I love the new direction, and I'm excited to follow your work. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review on the Apple iTunes Store. If you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Marketing, definitely give us a subscribe there. But also leave some comments in the video. Love to hear what kind of things you're working on. And Andrew, thanks again for coming back on the show.